What's happening, everyone? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 30 of my favorite hard rock and heavy metal albums of the 80s. My top 31, my favorite 31, because we have 31 days here in May of 2023. I have painstakingly picked out my 31 favorite hard rock and metal albums of the 80s. An impossible task, most people have said. I would agree with you. I've made my choices. I'm sticking with them. There's going to be a lot of albums that I love and hold near and dear that aren't going to quite make the top 31. It's just the way it goes. So if I don't mention your favorites, doesn't mean I don't like them. Just you can't fit everything. You can't fit 300 albums into a top 31. It doesn't work that way. So today, an album that of course had to make my cut because I have adored this album since it first came out. It was released August 19th, 1985. Recorded at Cherokee Studios in Los Angeles and Skyline Studios in Topanga, California. Released on Polydor Records. Produced by the man himself, Yngwie J. Malmsteen. Marching Out. Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force, Marching Out, his second solo album. Of course, after leaving the great Alcatraz, Yngwie puts the Rising Force band together, and at least for, good chunk of the 80s, man, makes lots of waves for the most part. Rising Force, Yngwie's band, he of course burst on the scene as one of the most exciting guitar players to hit the scene since, Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, right, basically, and taking this whole neoclassical thing and playing this kind of like gothic hard rock and metal that brings to mind bands like Rainbow and Scorpions and Deep Purple and that sort of thing, and at the same time kind of also doing what we would later call like European power metal, right? Very similar. So the neoclassical lead guitar, the big riffs and haunting keyboards and really strong vocals. Of course, he would change vocalists almost on every album. That was the kind of crazy thing about Yngwie throughout his career. Right now he does sing it all on his own, but he put together a really good band for this album. Basically carries over sort of from the first album, not quite. First album had a whole bunch of people working on, but here you've got the lineup of Yngwie, of course, on all sorts of guitars, backing vocals. Jeff Scott Soto on lead vocals. Of course, this would be Jeff Scott Soto's first big foray into the limelight, right? The hard rock and metal arena. Of course, Jeff Scott Soto's made a great name for himself over the years since being in Yngwie's band. Jens Johansson on keyboards, Anders Johansson on drums, the two brothers, and Marcel Jacob on bass. And this would be basically what many people always consider the inaugural and classic lineup of Rising Force. 11 songs on this outing. Couple instrumentals, but mostly all vocal pieces. I think the songs on this album are absolutely terrific. I still, like I said, I got into Yngwie. I had heard about him briefly when he was in Steeler, but didn't really dig that album too much. It was the Alcatraz album that really did it for me. And then, of course, he released the first Rising Force album. I believe he was still technically in Alcatraz at the time when that came out. But then he decided when he wanted to put together Rising Force as a full-time band, bye-bye Graham and company, I'm going to do this. So here you've got all sorts of great songs. You've got the single from the album. I believe they did a MTV video for I'll See the Light Tonight. Very good, accessible, heavy rock song. Don't Let It End, also loaded with hooks, great guitar work, great riffing, great vocal from Jeff. Disciples of Hell is dark and menacing. Really like that song. My favorite song on the album, one of my favorite songs of the 80s, is I Am a Viking. Absolutely killer. Love the riff on that. It's so just, it's got like this mid 70s Richie Blackmore's Rainbow thing going on, right? It's just, it's heavy, it's kind of medieval sounding, it's got the neoclassical things going on, kind of dirgy riffing happening too. It's just really, really good. Then you got Overture 1383, great instrumental. Then there's Anguish and Fear. On the Run Again, another really catchy song. There's some really catchy material on this album. The darker, heavy, once again, Soldier Without Faith. That's what makes this album so great for me. A couple really good instrumentals. Some more upbeat, accessible stuff, and some darker, heavier stuff. It's got a nice mix of stuff. Soldier Without Faith, another great chorus on that. Excellent chorus. Great vocal from Jeff. Caught in the Middle is another catchy tune. I love the riff. It's just got this cool riff to it. Just absolutely love it. And then the closing instrumental is the title track, Marching Out. Sensational. And proof that Yngwie could do like kind of like a mid-paced, slow kind of, but emotional instrumental. Just features great guitar melodies, nice soloing, but it's not this kind of crazy blazing type of thing. Although it does smolder a bit, right? I think Marching Out is excellent. So, yeah, excellent album. Still to this day, my favorite Yngwie album. Followed closely by Odyssey. I like Odyssey quite a bit too, but not quite as much as this one. And this is the cover that they put on during the CD time, but the LP, the vinyl, that was released here in the States. If you remember, it had the full live shot of Yngwie playing guitar on stage. It's very orange. I always like that so much better than this. This looks completely posed, but the other one's just absolutely amazing. But regardless, still a great album. So that is my pick for today. Marching Out from Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force. If you are a fan, let us know what you think of this album in the comments below, but we want to hear your pick for number 30, right? As we're going to go, we started yesterday with number 31. We're going to move our way all the way up to number 1, which will happen on the 31st of May. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we've got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks for all of that. And stay tuned. Tonight, of course, we've got In the Prog Scene is back. It's Tuesday night. So tonight we're going to be talking about our favorite prog albums of 1971. So stay tuned for that. It's list night here, talking about our absolute favorites from a great year in the early 70s, a great year of prog. So stay tuned for that. We've got also coming up tomorrow, we've got What's Hot with Sea Tranquility Day. Should have a couple new reviews for you. And then also later this week, we've got Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff. We've got 4 Fusion Friday happening this week as well. We've also got the inaugural edition of It's All About the Fuzz. That's coming at you tomorrow, actually, with Karen LaPreziosa and myself. And then on the weekend, we have the UK Connection on Saturday and ranking the albums on Sunday. And Sunday, I will be ranking the albums of the Derek Trucks Band. So that's coming up on Sunday. So stay tuned for all that here and more on the C. Till later on, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you tomorrow morning with another of my top 31 hard rock and heavy metal albums of the 80s. Number 29 is coming at you tomorrow morning. Till then, have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.